to Dubstock Live, brought to you by Fit Aid. A 30-point Warriors loss in Game 3. Now that the series has moved to Los Angeles, Warriors insider Monte, Poole, and Kerith Burke with you here. This follows the Game 2 blowout that the Warriors had, 27-point win at Chase Center. One of my concerns is this is going to be a seesaw series, but that's not what you want. You can't have whiplash between these games. You can't have whiplash between quarters. The Warriors had a 30-point first quarter. They had the lead. They had a great start to the game, and then everything unraveled in that second quarter.
Yeah, and you say everything. That is not an understatement.
Everything.
Everything you want to see a team do that they shouldn't do, it all happened. Turnovers, yes. Fouls, yes. Technical fouls, yes. Flagrant fouls, yes. Loss of composure, yes. Yeah. And when the Lakers challenged a call, they did it successfully. So pretty much everything you can do to go wrong, it went wrong. And they were outscored at one point 22-2. That was the kind of run the Lakers were on. The Warriors were up 11, and they went into halftime when they were down by that. So it's really, I think the most I want to say surprising element of that second quarter is the loss of composure.
That's the word that stood out to me post-game too.
Yeah.
The Warriors are defending champs. They have been in every type of situation. To hear that they lost composure is alarming.
Yeah, I mean, because Steve Kerr is leaning on his veteran guys. And that's Draymond, and that's Steph, and that's Clay. And none of them played well tonight. No. Not one of them played well tonight. And not only did they not play well, but they made a lot of mistakes that you can't afford to make in the postseason and expect to win. You know, they combined turnovers for those three players. Let's count them, okay? 6 for Clay, 3 for Steph, and Draymond did not commit any. He only played 22, but he had foul trouble, so that kind of shackled him a little bit. But Steph and Clay, that's 9 turnovers between those two guys, and so it's hard to win that way. And when you don't shoot the ball well, and the Lakers' defense can be good. I didn't think this was the case of the Lakers really defending them, locking them down. This is a case where the Warriors didn't shoot the ball well, had open shots, and they tried too many silly passes.
Crafty passes?
Passes that are difficult, like passes to Kevon Looney's feet. You know, that kind of stuff. It's like, it's a tough pass for him to catch, and it's not one you should make because you know that.
Correct. And then who's waiting to meet him on the way up under the rim? That's tough.
Right.
And this was another game, another game where the Lakers had 10 blocks. So yeah, that second quarter, the Warriors lost that quarter 36-18. There were 9 Warriors turnovers, whistles galore, technicals galore, fouls galore, and just an absolute dismantling, unraveling. Moses Moody had a 3-pointer in the second quarter that gave the Warriors a 40-29 lead, and then the Lakers had a 30-8 finish. This game transformed very quickly. Yeah,
and there were a couple of timeouts that the Warriors called, and neither one seemed to have any real effect because they come out of a timeout and they get a bad shot, or they come out of a timeout and they commit a turnover immediately. So you're trying to find somebody who played really well for the Warriors, and I just don't really come across anybody. You know, Kevon Looney, you can usually get to Kevon's rebounding and stuff. He had 4 rebounds tonight and only played 16 minutes. So this was a night when obviously the Warriors did not have their best stuff after the first, about 4 minutes into the second quarter, everything went downhill.
All right, we need to talk about the free throw disparity in this game. Hopefully we can do it in a responsible way. Monty, we can do it in a responsible way. No, but listen, after game 1, when it stood out that the Lakers had 29 free throw attempts, sickening that in game 3 they had 37 free throw attempts. So I added this up. Hopefully my math is correct. In this series so far in 3 games, the Lakers have attempted 83 shots from the stripe, the Warriors 39. Now, the responsible bit comes in here. The sensible bit comes in here when we talk about the fact that the Warriors shoot more threes than the Lakers. It's style of play. Teams don't foul as much from 3, so I get that. But listen, that's a big disparity. Is there something there?
I'm not going to blame the refs. I mean, I know, the Warriors spent a lot of this game beefing at the refs. And you look at that, and you look at some of the things that happened over the course of that second quarter in particular, and you saw a lot of plays that the Warriors took themselves out of because they were beefing with the refs. And so, both coaches Darvin Ham of the Lakers, Steve Kerr of the Warriors, were asked about free throw disparities before the game, and they both had the same basic answer: the team that is the most aggressive tends to get the benefit of the doubt of the whistle. Okay. And the Warriors were pretty aggressive early, but once they got to about the 7-minute mark of that second quarter, the Lakers came roaring back. And they played with a lot of force after that, and they didn't make as many mistakes, and that's why they were able to put together a kind of run that kind of gave them a chance to take command going into halftime. So I think they understand the Warriors are not going to shoot as many free throws because it is style of play. But they are taking shots. They are trying to go to the rim. They're trying to challenge AD to some degree, but you got to do that really smartly. And so I just think, Draymond was very clearly frustrated post-game. I think he's at that point where he feels like he can't play defense without being called for a foul. And so they have to figure this out. They have to figure this out because they were able to do it in Game 2. Game 3, not so much. Just because they're on the road doesn't mean, oh, well, the road woes are back. No. I think they need to win Game 4 to show that, okay, we can do this thing. Every game has led to an adjustment by the other team. And tonight's the first adjustment that I saw from the Lakers was that they decided to put, rather than have Jared Vanderbilt guard Steph, they put Austin Reeves out there, and so that when they switched, Vando was there. So that was a change you saw. But yeah, it was one of those things that there are adjustments to be made in every series, and you see them tonight. But that's still not the reason why the Warriors lost this game.
That's true. Let me correct myself for a second. I was looking at how many block shots Anthony Davis had. It's 4.
He had 4.
And that
6.
fit into 6 block shots. The 10 that I was getting was the steals that the Lakers had. But it is hard to go inside when the Lakers have more sides. Anthony Davis is difficult when he is patrolling the paint. I don't think the Warriors are scared to go inside. I'm just saying the calculus in this game is a little bit different.
They learned that lesson in Game 1. You can go inside, but you got to do it really smartly. And they didn't do it smartly in Game 3. And so I think in Game 2 they did it. They did it smartly. And, AD wasn't – everybody wants to say, well, AD just had a bad game. No, AD was – the Warriors exploited – Draymond did a great job on AD in Game 2.
In Game 2, yes, he did.
Yes, he did a great job on that. That's the first part. Defensively, though, the Warriors were able to work around AD. And tonight, it's not because AD was great. He was solid. He was good. But 25 and 13, 4 blocks. But this wasn't 30 and 23 like he had the other night. So it is for the Warriors. It's time to see if they can make an adjustment because this could be going that way the whole series.
The seesaw nature of it, that's not going to feel good for anybody.
Well, if you lost the first game, it means you're going to lose in 7. If it keeps going back and forth, you're going to be tied at 6, and then who won the first? You win games 1, 3, 5, and 7. You advance.
Let's talk a little bit more about AD because it did look like he came on. He had a double-double in this game after a quiet Game 2. Draymond guarded him, as you said, in Game 2. In this one, Draymond was guarding him as well. It is a team effort. It is a team effort. But Draymond's foul trouble played a role in this. It was the same thing that frustrated Draymond in Game 1. And I think Draymond is having a very hard time. We saw this in his postgame. He looked like a man who was trying not to get fined. His answers were short. They weren't rude, but they were short, and he wanted to leave that podium. He was hot after this game.
He was hot after Game 1 and understood why, and he was hot this time too. Hot because they lost and the way they lost. But he also, Draymond has said for a long time that this league doesn't value defense. They tailor the rules for the offense, and you can't argue that. So in a game like this, and in the playoffs, you would think that sometimes the whistle is a little slower. You let the guys play a little bit more, and I think that's what he expected. But tonight's game sort of suggests that maybe, they're not going to let them play, as we say.
Okay, so I'm going to give Draymond a very generous interpretation of composure because there was a point when he had 4 fouls and a technical. Okay, then he picked up his 5th foul. And at that point, I wondered if Draymond was going to go in full villain mode, knowing that he was going to check out soon, if he was going to just pick up another technical and go out in a blaze of glory. But he didn't do that.
No.
He didn't do that. That kind of just didn't fit the moment, I suppose.
No, it's not what the team needed at that time. Sometimes you can do that and you think, okay, your team will kind of rally behind it. I don't think that was the vibe in this one.
No, there was no rally. All right, let's hear from Steph Curry, who sat down a little while ago at the podium.
We understand the things we have to do in terms of keeping them off the free throw line, whether it's calls that we agree with or not, which most we didn't tonight, but that's not the sole reason you lose. It's just a mindfulness on how we're trying to create good looks, being tough and physical on the defensive end of the floor without fouling, to keep the pace where we want it to and connect the game. It's pretty simple. It's just a matter of doing it. They're obviously a great team, and it's not like you can just roll in here and obviously beat them. But you draw on some tendencies from game 2 that we can kind of go back to. So we just got to figure that out.
Steph, you get up 11 in the second quarter. What can you take from that sequence of the game, the better part of the game, and apply it in game 4?
Just do more of what we were doing in terms of, solid offensive possessions, flying around on defense. It's just a reminder that we're capable. Had a lot of self-inflicted wounds tonight, so gotta correct that.
Steph, it seems like with the game plan on the pick and roll, it seemed like they were trying to keep you from being able to make plays for your teammates. How do you adapt to that?
I think getting on the ball more, whether it's me taking a shot or, finding a mismatch and trying to, attack, I don't think that was a huge issue. It was more so the other end of the floor for us. Because like we said, we were up 11 at one point in the second quarter based on that, with that defense and those adjustments. So I don't think that's the issue. I'm going to have the ball in my hands. I'm going to be in pick and roll, playing off the ball. We're going to create shots the way that we always do. It's more so, again, I keep saying it, just connecting the game and on the other end of the floor, what are we doing to try to, combat their size and whatnot. So that was more the issue tonight. It wasn't really the offensive end.
You can hear a little bit of Steph's frustration as well. All right, so the Warriors have to win Game 4 if they want to knot up the series. Otherwise, they're staring down a serious situation. What should the Warriors do adjustment-wise? Because I'm looking at the starting lineup and wondering, does J. Mike start again?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. See, the problem the Warriors have, and they've had it all season, is they can't really go truly big. Mm-hmm. I mean, Kevon is a forward who's been masquerading as a center for most of his career.
Mm-hmm. Well,
does a great job at it.
Yeah.
Does a great job at that,
Yeah.
Anthony Davis used to be a forward, but they always wanted him to play center. He just didn't want to do it, and now he is doing it.
Yeah.
So, but he has the length to be that enforcer in the middle. He can finish in the paint. He can also protect the rim. Loon doesn't. That's not his game.
Yeah.
He's not a rim protector. He's a rebounder, a screener, a good passer, good defender. So, I think they may go back to Loon, but they still have to deal with the floor spacing. Yeah. Because playing Draymond and Loon together, you got two guys now that the defense can almost ignore. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to. I don't know how they did it last year. Mm. They did it though. I know Steph's gravity is huge. And that's a big factor. Steph is like having two guys out there almost. Yeah. But at this stage of the playoffs this season, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, that'll be a major storyline heading into Game 4, and of course, Steve Kerr would never tip his hand.
No.
All right, when we come back on Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by FitAid, we need to talk about Klay Thompson, who had a hot start to this game, but then what happened? Some struggles for Klay, and we know he was hyped to play in LA. We'll talk about Klay's game.
Yep.
And, oh yeah, why don't we take a few more looks at that Wiggins dunk? It's next on Dubs Talk.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by FitAid Clean Energy and Sports Recovery, the energy drink for athletes. FitAid Energy is naturally sweetened with only 15 calories, no sucralose, no aspartame, and no compromises.
I don't see a YouTube link, but let me check elsewhere. Okay. Hi guys, we're on YouTube, but I'm having technical difficulties, so I can't see your comments yet.
Oh yeah, the internet's
I am trying.
Playing games with us.
The internet here.
Yeah. It plays. It's wobbly.
Yeah. Listen, the Warriors don't want to blame the free throws, but I'm going to blame the Wi-Fi. Here we go. We're up. Just gotta get through some of
You
that.
couldn't decide during the game whether it wanted to be slow or not at all at times.
Anyway, thank you all for joining us. I'm sure the regular names are in there. We appreciate you. Skip those ads. Okay. All right, very first comment I see is from William. He says, next game is about being patient and being more aggressive. Let the opposition deal with the refs. No crazy turnovers. Yeah, turnovers were a major factor. Hey, the Warriors had 19 turnovers, and that handed the Lakers 27 points.
9 in the second quarter gave them 15 points.
That's not a recipe for a win.
15 points in one quarter off turnovers you gave a team.
No, you can't do that. Ay, ay, ay.
It's a rough night. It's a rough night. But I mean, some of this was their own. They brought it upon themselves.
Yeah. We got some of the usual punching bags in the comments.
Be nice, people. Be nice.
No. D is saying they will bounce back. That was the promise that Steve Kerr made post-game as well. All right, we'll be back in just
They did after game 1, but
they did.
Yeah.
Clay, you guys had a double-digit lead early in the second quarter, and then it just didn't go your way after that. What did you think led to kind of the spiraling there in the second quarter, then get going in the third?
I think the turnovers and our fouling, and that's on me. You know, playoff career high, 6 turnovers. It's inexcusable. So Monday I'll be better, more sure with the ball, make better decisions, and can't send them live as much as we did. 37 times, way too many. So Monday, those will be points of emphasis for us, is, you know, being sure with the ball and limiting our turnovers, or not fouling.
Were you getting kind of drawn into different kind of angles with some of those turnovers? What do you think caused
No,
it?
I just think I just made errant passes, and yeah, it was that simple. I just wasn't making the sharp, crisp pass like I'm used to, and I'll watch the film and I'll respond, and I'll play much better Monday.
Steph mentioned the fast break where he threw it to you and you weren't looking. What was happening there? Were you thinking the ball's not, obviously you're not thinking the ball's coming there?
No, that was my fault. I should have sprinted to the rim. You know, I was trying to run to the corner, but I should have sprinted to the rim, got that layup. And like I said, I'll watch the film tomorrow, and I know I'll just be much better Monday.
I'm not sure how many times he just said I'll be better on Monday, but when Clay makes a promise, he usually makes good on that. We know he was hyped to play in this game, in this arena. He said it's his place, you know, against the Lakers. That's where his hoop dreams came true. He missed his first 2 threes. You can tell the team was trying to set him up, but then he settled in a little bit.
Boom.
3 of 5, had 4 rebounds.
Boom.
He led the team. What'd you say? Boom.
No, his
Boom.
three threes, you know, in the first quarter. I mean, he had 11 points in 11 minutes in the first quarter.
Yes, to lead the
and
team.
I thought, Clay could be on one of those. You know, I'm sitting next to Ann Killing of the Chronicle, and we looked at it like, oh boy, this could be one of those nights.
Yeah.
But after that, it fell completely apart for him, and just like it did for everybody else. You know, he went 3 of 5 in the first quarter, and the rest of the game, he is 2 of 9.
Yeah.
And so it just didn't happen for him. And like he said, the 6 turnovers, you know, Clay doesn't handle the ball a lot, and generally not enough to have 6 turnovers. But some of his passes tonight were like, whoa, what is that? You know, who's that intended for? You know, and so the entire team had some turnover issues, but it's just rare that Clay, because he's an off-ball guy, to have 6 turnovers.
Yeah, he wanted this bad. Clay even pointing out that this was a career high for a playoff game.
Yes.
So that is going to mess him up until tip-off of the next game. All right, talking about Steph, we saw him blocked inside a few times. This was a frustrating night for Steph, although I did get a note post-game that he scored 20 points in every playoff game this season. But when Steph is trying to get himself going, okay, he had 12 shots in the last game, 21 shots in this game. Steph got it close. Was it in the third quarter? He made the score 76.
He got within 10,
66?
maybe?
Yes. And then after that, it was game over.
But yeah, the whole roof caved in, basically.
Yeah.
But you look at this, too, when you talk about Steph and Draymond in particular. Steph had 3 assists Draymond had 4. That's 7. That's not enough for those two guys.
No.
They handled the ball. The Warriors had 26. That's well below what they want to see. They had 38 in game 2.
Yeah.
So it tells you, talk about the ball movement, and they were trying to move the ball, but they weren't doing it smartly on a regular basis. That's why some of those passes end up going to the Lakers. And when you do that, you can't play defense because they're already off in transition. And they'll tell you that all the time. So Lakers were able to get, they had 7 more fast break points than the Warriors did, 11-4. Paint points were pretty close to the same. But the Lakers were off and running more than you would think there because they're not really a fast break team. But when you give them the ball in open court, transition, they can do that. Live ball turnovers will kill you every time, and that's what was happening.
Yeah, 19 turnovers for the Warriors, again, resulting in 27 points for the Lakers. Add that to the free throw disparity. Not a recipe for a win. Hey, there was one moment. Can we have one ray of sunshine on the show?
No, here we go.
Listen, but actually, this play started. This is the Wiggins dunk. It started with Steph Curry running around and AD blocking his shots. Okay, but Kevon Looney scoops up that rebound. There you
Here
go.
Comes Wiggs.
There comes Wiggs flying in, cocking
Look
back.
at the bench.
That's right. That's right. So right after the Warriors called a timeout, every single one of the guys on the bench came out to give an attaboy to Wiggins. He deserved it. Reminds me, do we have that bench reaction actually? But that reminds me of Wiggins last season in the Western Conference Final, against the Mavericks when he did Luka.
He had some pretty good dunks going last postseason. Yeah. And Wiggins has been, tonight he was fairly efficient. He had 16 and 9. That's decent, but he needs to be better too.
Yeah.
He did not have a turnover, which he's the only starter. Well, no, I have to get back. Draymond and Wiggins didn't have any turnovers. Okay. Draymond's issue wasn't turnovers tonight; it was fouls.
Yeah, it was fouls.
And that's what frustrated him. It really kind of took him out of his game.
Yeah.
So, I think when you hear Klay talk about how they'll be better in game 4, I think all the guys have to take that mentality too, because they all can look at the video of this and go, okay, that wasn't good, this wasn't good, that wasn't good. Some of those passes especially were like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? So I think they will be better, but the question is, will it be good enough?
A shoot yourself in the foot kind of game, a very frustrating game to watch, actually. I mean, the whistles, listen, if a foul is a foul is a foul, sure, call it. But there were so many whistles in this game that to some degree it didn't feel like a game. It's like, am I watching a start, stop? What is this? It wasn't an enjoyable thing as a fan of basketball.
There were 43 fouls called in this game. And when we asked Draymond about he said the game changed because the game stopped.
Yeah.
And it kept stopping.
Yeah.
And kept stopping.
Yeah.
And in that second quarter in particular, you look at that second quarter, and there were 22 fouls in that one quarter. 22 fouls, 13 fouls against the Warriors in one quarter.
That's not enjoyable.
That's a foul every minute plus.
Yeah.
That's a foul every 55 seconds. You can't play basketball that way.
No.
You can't. And so I'm not using it as an excuse, but when you have 13 fouls in 12 minutes, that's over the course of a game, that's a rate of 52. That's ugly.
No, people tuning in a national game wanting to see the Lakers and Warriors. Instead, they get stop, start.
Hey.
Commercial, timeout. All right.
Got 3, Kennedy and Irvin, the 3 officials.
All right, we'll be back on Dubstock Live, brought to you by Fit 8 to wrap it all up in just a moment because Game 4 needs some changes, Monte.
Ooh, boy.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Fit Aid Clean Energy and Sports Recovery, the energy drink for athletes. Fit Aid Energy is naturally sweetened with only 15 calories, no sucralose, no aspartame, and no compromises.
Hey everybody, we're back on YouTube. Hey, there's just a quirk that I noticed in the fourth quarter. So the Warriors subbed out their starters about the 9:11 mark. But actually thinking like maybe it could be an even quarter when some of the hungry guys get to play, the reserve guys get to play. Lakers won the fourth quarter by 41 points.
They put up 41, yeah.
Ouch.
You win, they're 41-29 in the fourth quarter, so.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
I don't expect a comeback there, but I
no.
thought maybe some of the hungrier guys. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga got some minutes. He arrived at 10 points, but I thought maybe some of the hungrier guys would not make it that kind of.
You can play hungry, but that doesn't mean you're going to play well.
Sure.
They didn't commit turnovers. They had only 2 in the fourth quarter, so. but they didn't shoot great either. And so you had guys out there trying to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And it just, I think at that point of the game they knew they were going to lose. Yeah. But you're right. When the young guys come out there and get a chance to play in the playoffs that they haven't been playing in, you want to shoot your best shot.
Yeah. I see some comments that the Warriors need more from Jordan Poole. 5 points tonight. 6 assists. He was the leading assist man in this one. 4 turnovers for Poole. Just quiet in pockets where I maybe didn't expect some quiet.
Jordan was 2 of 9 shooting, 0-4 from 3. He's shooting like 25% from 3. And it's like in the postseason. And it's like most of the good was in one game, So it's been a tough run for him. It's been a tough season for him. Yeah. And I'm sure some of it traces back to the preseason, the emotional.
Still?
I think emotionally that could be still a factor. Yeah, I'm not going to dismiss that. I think you could say it should be over, but I'm going to assume that could still possibly be an issue.
Okay. All right, we're back on Dubstock Live, brought to you by Fit Aid. The Warriors and Lakers playing every other day, so the next one coming up on Monday. To state the obvious, having a series tied at 2-2 is much better than having the Lakers go ahead 3-1. There is some urgency, some absolute urgency, potentially season on the line kind of feelings for Game 4.
Yeah, it's always my belief that Game 4 is the most important game of any series because it's either 3-0, in which case the other team could be done after that if they lose Game 4, or it's going to be 2-1, in which case somebody's going to be on the brink of elimination. So if the Warriors win Game 4, then you're looking at probably another 7-game series. If they lose, then you'll need 3 consecutive wins to win the series, and I'm not sure. I don't think that can happen.
I mean, that happened against Boston, but this matchup feels it's got a different flavor.
That was 2-1. Yeah, that was 2-1.
But the Warriors won 3 straight to take the series.
Yes.
Yeah, they trailed twice in that series and then came back. Yeah.
Yes. So I just don't know if you can go down 3-2 or 3-1 and then win Game 5, 6, and 7 against this team when you're going back and forth like that. I don't know.
It happened against the Warriors once.
Yeah. I'm not saying it can't happen.
Sure.
But man, oh man, I mean, that's a lot to ask.
You never, ever, ever want to be in that situation. Do yourselves a favor, Warriors. Please do yourselves a favor.
It's not must win, but it's crucial to win that game to make this a competitive series again.
Okay, I'm gonna go full emotional and say it's must win for me, Monte. It's must win for me. All right, we will continue this conversation on Dubstock the podcast because we need to talk about Jordan Poole a little bit here, and again, some of the big picture things that resulted in a 30-point Lakers win. Hey everybody, there is a comment that says that Poole has become a punching bag. You know what, there are some things to talk about with Poole. It's been a quiet series for him. It's been a quiet postseason for him. But the things I look at are the free throws and the turnovers in this game. And you can talk about Jordan's part in that with his 4 turnovers, but I'm not blaming Jordan Poole for this loss. He played 22 minutes. I look elsewhere in this.
There's no individual on this, no one person you blame on this for this loss.
No.
This was a team loss. But the surprising part of it to me was to watch the veteran core, Steph, Clay, Draymond,
struggle.
Not just struggle, but again, they did uncharacteristic things that are uncharacteristic of a championship group. And the composure thing, that second quarter was like, what is, like a riot was going on. I'm like, wait a minute, one thing after another, after another, after another. Yeah. And I'm telling you, everything that can go wrong in a quarter pretty much went wrong there.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing that didn't happen is nobody got seriously hurt.
We'll take it.
Yes.
On a no good, horrible, very bad day.
Nobody got seriously hurt.
Yeah.
But when you look at that quarter, you see all of those things. So I just think that for this team to get back to where they need to be in Game 4, it starts with defense, which, again, I think that there's probably a chance that they'll go back to Looney in the starting lineup and start with the Looney, the classic lineup.
Yes,
Looney, Draymond, Wiggins, Clay, and Steph. But it won't matter if they don't bring the kind of disposition required to win games. And if they don't bring the kind of intellect that they've shown over the years. Tonight, some of the passes they were throwing were like high school passes. Like, AAU passes.
Or
what are they
unfortunately,
doing?
Clay not looking for the pass. Clay not looking
That was
for
one.
the ball.
Yeah, that was
a little perplexing. Yeah.
Steph had it. It would have been a nice pass if Clay knew it was coming. And Clay said, I had a layup.
Yeah.
But he wasn't looking. That's happened a few times this year where ball goes to Clay and he's not locked into the ball. So, but yeah, this team, we've seen them look terrible, come back and win. We've seen them win, look really good, like they did in game 2, and then go to game 3. So I quit trying to decide, trying to give the gut feeling thing about this team. I never know.
This whole season.
Yeah, I don't. About halfway through the season, I thought, you know what? I just don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And so just let it come, and it's going to be really good or sometimes really disastrous. Tonight was really disastrous.
Yeah. All right, on the podcast, of course, we are always recording a new episode of Dubs Talk immediately after Dubs Talk Live. So you have a fresh podcast in your ears, and we will continue the conversation about composure over on the pod.
Big
Thanks
time.
for joining us.